talking about some of the companies that have struggled, why they've struggled, I also wanted to talk about Dick's Sporting Goods because they're the big dog now. They were previously second to Sports Authority, but they're actually, one of the largest, sports specialty they are the largest sports specialty retailer in the space now. And so they have $7.3 billion in revenue for the most recent fiscal year, and it gives it about 10 to 15% market share for this market. National Sporting Goods Association puts this total market about $64 billion annually. And recently, the company presented at the Bank of America Merrill Lynch Consumer and Retail Conference in March. And during the presentation, funny enough, one of the very first slides is titled Power of Omnichannel. Not surprising at all.
It's like they stole the slide from Macy's or something.
So, keep in mind that the company has had about 39% compound annual growth from 2010 to 2015 for their e-commerce sales. And
so people are going to dickssportinggoods.com and ordering a baseball bat on there.
So some of the things that they're doing well, in 2010, they had $140 million of online sales, so it's about 3% of their top line. By 2015, it's $748 million, over 10% of their top line. So obviously there's that shift in the pie. But also, it's interesting because, he talks about the physical footprint of Dick's Sporting Goods still being a really important piece of their omnichannel strategy. And he says that if they enter a new market or underserved market, a new store opening will usually double e-commerce sales in that region for them. And it has to do with the fact, it's the idea instead of like this, I guess the main thing that they offer now, before it may have been expertise, which some companies still do, right? Like for an outdoor goods retailer, REI is really well known, and they've been able to carve out a niche for customer service. They've been able to carve out a niche for a lot of the sales associates still having
refusing to open
expertise.
up on Black Friday, yeah,
and little things like that. But in a case like Dick's, where a lot of it's commoditized. It's like we want to make sure the consumer can get what they want, however they want it, be it pick up in store, ordering online, going to the store, and ordering through the store if like stock's not there, and just having everything they need lined up to fulfill what the customer or the shopper wants.
It definitely seems to me that the industry at large that we're talking about, it was just a case of there were too many players and somebody had to go. And the winner, obviously, in the situation for the not the high end stuff, but just the guy that needs a baseball bat or glove for his kid, is Dick's. I mean, they're clearly the winner. There's out west there you got like the Big Five Sporting Goods and all that stuff, but
which appeals also to the discount market as well.
For sure.
So like I said, they've kind of carved out their niche, and Dick's is playing this broader strategy, but they're doing it in a really interesting way. And while these other stores are closing a lot of locations, Dick's has been expanding a lot. They've opened, I think, 200 new locations in the past few years, and I think part of that is expanding that footprint and the fact that it's helpful for them with like shipping to store and become using these locations.
Did you happen to hear what they did with Sears, by the way? I think it was at a Sears location in this is like cobwebs of my
I think it was in King of Prussia.
Yeah, King of Prussia
Yes.
Mall, yeah. And they Sears, I guess, partitioned off the second level of a location there, and then they sold a portion of it to Dick's in like a long-term lease or whatever, and that's obviously part of Sears' plans to unlock the value of their real estate. But it's just interesting to see what they'll do with that, if that's a possibility, because then it all of a sudden is kind of like a distribution kind of front retail thing for omnichannel. So real quick, what did you think of a Dick's Sporting Goods, just its valuation right now? It's at 47, trailing earnings of 280. I mean, does that interest you at all?
Well, the thing is, it's surprising for me. After reading enough about and doing enough research about the industry, you think that the growth opportunity is not that great. But like I said, they've opened 200 new locations over the past few years, and their current footprint's about 650 stores. Management sees like the overall, long-term potential of at about 1,100 locations. And the thing is, if you compare them to other big box retailers, so to speak, like a Best Buy, they are on the smaller end in terms of their number of locations.
Right.
So they do have that runway. They are really focused on, things like e-commerce and driving productivity in those stores. They're bringing their e-commerce operation, for example, in-house to have better control over it and to, generate some savings there. So overall, just a really interesting business. And
yeah, it definitely seems like they're the current winner or something like that.
Well, the thing is,
I don't know.
You either look at it that way, or you look at maybe not smaller operations in the sense the stores are definitely smaller, but you have a specialized company like a Lululemon, or you have a company like REI or Cabela's, for example, where it's going to be focused more on the outdoors, hunting, firearms, and that being able to carve out that niche and to present that value to the shopper is really important, because otherwise this is just a very intensely competitive space right now.
Cool.